Hello, lovely sewing friends. I hope you guys are doing well. Can we please just all admire my cute little cherry top? I think this is by far one, I always say that about these tops, but it's little cherries on that. Look how cute it is, right? Look, little cherries. And by far, I have got so many more designs. I even started another cherry one on a little bag that I'm gonna do. And then, let me just see if I have got the paper right down here, and I sure do. I have all of these other designs that I want to do. So this one is on my green top. This is now on my red top. I wanna do a yellow top with the sun on it. I wanna do a blue top with this clam on it. And I think maybe a purple top with the moon on it. So lots of little embroidery designs going on. But I want, oh, by the way, I got my nails done. I haven't had my nails done for like 1.5 to 2 years. And I was just like, treat yourself. So I got my nails done today. I'm a little bit over the place because I have to be at work in like an hour and I still got to have my dinner and record this video. So we're just going to get straight to it. So the video I want to talk to you guys about today is how to do a lining, right? Because there are several different ways that you can finish off the interior of your sewing project or your garment, right? And there are a bunch of different ways I want to discuss. The three main I'm going to go over in this video are overlocking, facing, and lining, right? And depending on your skill levels and depending on your equipment that you have is what you kind of go for, right? So starting off strong with overlocking, right? So I have this skirt, you guys have seen it many, many times before. If we look on the interior of it, you'll see here these looped stitches, right? So overlocking involves having a different machine, and I'll quickly show it to you. This machine here is called an overlocker, right? And you can do something similar to overlocking stitching on your regular sewing machine, but I'm just going to put this down first, right? So overlocking the raw edge of fabric basically stops it from fraying, right? So you would use that on multiple different seam finishes, but mainly it's to stop the fabric from fraying. Now, I tend to use it in just like everyday garment wear. It's normally a fairly inexpensive and mass-produced type of way to finish a garment because it's just, you know, one run through the overlocker and it's done, compared to the other two examples I'll show you guys. But if you're deciding on whether or not to get an overlocker, just think about how you're going to use it because these can run like $300, $400, $500. So overlockers are really good, but there is a way that you can do it on your regular sewing machine, and that's just by doing a zigzag. It won't be as neat or as precise, and you probably won't be able to do it through multiple layers of seam allowance. However, it does serve a purpose of not letting the fabric fray as much. So that's one way you can finish off a garment on the interior. Second one, my old tried and true top. So the second way, actually I'll show you, there's kind of two ways you can do this. So a facing like this is where you get an extra panel of fabric and you create like a mirror image from the outside to the inside, and then this is a facing. And you can see here, I've actually overlocked this edge here and then I've hand stitched it down. You can see those pulls right there, that's the hand stitching. So this involves, first of all, making a mirror image from the outside to the inside, then fusing and cutting a separate piece of fabric, then attaching it to the neckline, then doing like an edge stitch there to prevent it from rolling out, then finishing the external raw edge, and then hand stitching or machine stitching it down. So you can see the time difference between something that you just run through an overlocker once versus doing like 7 or 8 additional steps just for this extra one. Now, if you want to have a play around with a facing, but you're not really confident with doing that mirror image, if you don't have a pattern that already does it, I would suggest using some bias binding, because that's essentially what a facing is. So I did the exact same, because this was the hem on this is straight, right? It's straight across, right? So what I did, instead of making a facing, and I would have to have more fabric just to do a straight facing, what I did instead was get some bias binding, right? So I got some bias binding, attached it with a 1 centimeter seam allowance. I then did an edge stitch. I'm not sure if the camera will be able to pick that up. You can see those stitches there, right? Then I attached it by hand, right? You can see the little puckers there of the hand stitch. So that is another way of doing a facing, right? Now, the third and final way you can finish the interior of a garment is doing a lining, right? The first experience I had with doing a lining was in university. We were doing blazers, and my God, linings are, it's like putting a garment inside another garment, right? Because what you've got, you've got totally new pattern pieces, and then you've also got to like handle it in a certain way. You've got to do stay stitching, you've got to do, you know, all of the like darts and everything that are on the garment on the inside as well. So some garments, I actually think I have, oh my God, okay, stay there. Right? I have this dress. I love this dress. I need to wear it more, right? I have this dress. Wait till you see this, right? So keeping in mind that I told you like how much work goes into a facing, and I'm about to tell you how much work goes into a lining because I've got that coat to show you, but I'll show you how much work went into this dress, right? So, so this dress not only has a facing, not only has a lining, but it has a lining and a facing, right? Let me just show you this to you properly because I need to show it off more, right? Look at that, right? So that there is the facing, this here is the lining, right? But also on the back, it's a split and then a self-covered button and a self-made button loop there, right? So it goes in like that. Look at that. And then look at that dip. That facing. I remember sewing this going, this is good, right? And so the external piece has darts on the bust. You can see there. Well, not really. You can see there. That's the dart on the bust on the inside. And then I've got stitching all around here as well. So everything that I did on the exterior of this garment, I did to the interior, right? I love this dress. I really need to make this dress into a pattern and wear it more. One problem with this dress, it's a little bit tight on my arms now, but I've just realized I can cut this up and use some fabric from that because this is a bit long and I don't have any more scrap fabric. Always keep your scraps. Learn from me, right? So the last one I want to show you guys. Okay, so this is my winter coat. I love my winter coat. And I've got a little badge. This is Samantha. It's a little bunny. And she's wearing a little coat. So this coat. The coat exterior, the blue, I bought in 2018, right? And I got it, I looked at it in a shop window and it was like $580. and I checked the fabric composition and it's like polyester, 98%, 2% silk. And I was like, I'm not paying $580 for a polyester jacket. It's just not going to happen. And then I saw it on sale for like $180 and I was like, yes, I will buy that. And I bought this coat and I have loved it ever since. I love this coat so much. And then during lockdown in 2020, I decided to take the first ever fabric I ever bought of Liberty and line this, right? And that's the lining. How gorgeous. And also because I didn't make the exterior, I didn't have the pattern pieces to make the lining, to make the interior. So what I ended up doing, oh my God, I made 19 toiles of the lining before I cut into my fabric, because this is also a dead stock Liberty silk, right? So I could not get any more if I wanted to. I did so many toiles. I did 19 toiles because I was absolutely adamant this had to be right first time, because I couldn't change it if I wanted to. So what I did to make the lining of this was I got my mannequin and I put the coat on my mannequin, who I call, oh God, what I call her Marie, because she's got no head, Marie Antoinette, lol, 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 lol. It's funny because it's 300 years later. It's okay. You don't need to cancel me for that. We'll live. She didn't, lols. So anyway, what I did is I put the coat on my mannequin, but inside out. And then I got like strips of calico, and then I placed it on the coat, and then I kind of traced the seam lines through the calico, and that's how I made the pattern pieces. And so my goal originally was just to get the main outline of this coat, and then I could reverse engineer it into the lining, because linings have different needs to it. But here, like, you can see on the exterior how there's that line there for the back of the neck. So basically what I did is I just transferred that up here. And so I just used the natural lines of the coat and made that. And I did the sleeves as well. I love this coat. And speaking of this coat, the coat itself is starting to look a little bit wear and tear. So I don't know how many more years I've got left with this coat, but I have kept the actual lining pattern piece. And also when this coat has its last winter, what I'll do is I'll meticulously cut it up and then remake another blue coat out of that pattern piece and insert this lining. Because this line, I'm never, ever, 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 ever leaving this lining. This lining will be in every blue winter coat I have for the rest of my life. End of story, because this fabric, I cried over. And if you cry over a fabric, it's with you for life. Next thing I wanted to tell you guys, when I see a fabric, especially a Liberty, I have to get it. Speaking of, I love that blue coat so much, I really want to make myself a pink one, right? So I bought this fabric in 2020, and I've not even unraveled it. Look how cute it is! Oh my gosh! Oh my look! I love it so much. It's okay, it's wrapped in, it didn't go on the fabric, it's fine, it's fine. But I love, this is a marshmallow pink, wool and silk, no polyester here, coat out exterior, and it's double faced as well. So that means it's basically 2 layers thick, right? So what I'm gonna do, when that coat goes and I unpick it, I'm gonna make a matching one, but in pink. And I've already got the lining for it. Oh my God, I'm so smart. I'm so smart. So yes, 3 ways that you can line your garment. Number 1, overlocking. Number 2, facing, that being a made facing from the pattern piece or bias binding. And third is lining. So yeah, I love this one so much. I think I have to really hype myself up to make a coat, because as I talked about with denim, it's difficult with wool, especially a double facing. You got to change needle, thread, whatever, it just gets messy. So I will take my time with that. And speaking of, I will see you same time, same place next week.